The effect of sustainable tourism practices on job creation in El Nido, Palawan. What is sustainable tourism practices? Sustainable tourism refers to travel practices that prioritize environmental conservation, social equity, and economic viability, ensuring that tourism benefits local communities and preserves natural resources for future generations. The impact on communities that fosters positive relationships between tourists and local populations, encouraging cultural exchange and providing economic opportunities while minimizing negative impacts on local traditions and lifestyles. Environmental responsibility promotes a responsible travel behavior such as reducing carbon footprints, supporting eco-friendly accommodations, and engaging in conservation efforts, ultimately contributing to the health of ecosystem and biodiversity. About our research, El Nido's tourism sector has significantly contributed to the Philippines' GDP, but the balance between tourism and local resources requires careful monitoring. Increased accessibility and online information have boosted travel to both remote and luxurious locations like El Nido. Data on tourist arrivals categorized by domestic and international travelers was collected from 2019 to 2024. The COVID-19 pandemic caused a sharp decline in tourism between 2020 and 2021, negatively impacted local businesses and employment. However, with the easing of restriction, tourism began to recover in 2022, supported by local government investments in infrastructure and amenities. In our concept paper, we have tackled and touched the details about COVID-19 impacts, government support, market dynamics, ongoing growth, sustainability focus, sustainability practices, travel accessibility, and tourism management. The background of our study: the El Nido tourism industry creates jobs and entrepreneurial opportunities for locals, offering alternative livelihoods and potential reducing pressure on marine resources. The post-2022 tourism boom has led to increased local employments, but challenges like pollution and environmental degradation persist. Emerging technologies and digitalization pose a threat to traditional jobs, requiring workers to adapt their skill sets. Despite ecotourism economic benefits, poverty and unemployment remain in some subregions, highlighting the need for more inclusive development strategies. Sustainable tourism practices are crucial for balancing economic growth with environmental protection. Oh, just a fun fact about El Nido. El Nido means the nest, and it is a home for limestone cliffs, white sand beaches, forests, flora, fauna, corals, and a lot more. It has been also a filming location for Expedition Robinson 1999 and 2009, The Amazing Race 2004, South Korea's Muhan Dijon 2007, French Koh Lanta 2007, and The Born Legacy. Now, let's proceed to the main problem of sustainability tourism. What is the main problem? What is the effect of sustainable tourism practices on job creation in El Nido, Palawan? And that supports, uh, what are the questions? What are the questions that supports the main problem? The current sustainable tourism practices in El Nido? What types of employment opportunities are generated? What is the impact of the transition? What is the implication? And lastly, what are the best strategies optimizing sustainable tourism practices and our expected output? This concept paper explores the correlation between sustainable tourism practices and job creation in El Nido, hypothesizing that implementing such practices leads to increased local employment. The research employs both quantitative analysis using employment statistics and economic impact assessment and qualitative findings through case studies and employee perspectives. The study aims to provide policy recommendations, including guidelines for promoting local employment and strategies for enhancing employee well being. Moreover, it suggests practical implementation tools like training programs, certifications, incentives, and environmental management strategies such as carbon footprint analysis and waste management. Ultimately, this research seeks to demonstrate the positive impact of sustainable tourism on local economies through job creation. Our research plan examines the impact of sustainable tourism on job creation in El Nido, Palawan. El Nido consists of 18 barangays and a small municipality with significant tourism potential and unique geographical feature. The study gathers data from various stakeholders, including tourists, local, business, um, tour operators, policymakers, using online surveys, conducting interviews, and secondary sources like government reports and academic journals. Sustainable tourism is our independent variable, while job creation is the dependent variable. We also analyze through quantitative method like statistical analysis and economic model, alongside a qualitative thematic analysis of social-cultural aspects. The research aims to understand how sustainable tourism practices affect economic indicators like employment rate, environmental indicators, and economic measures, tourism revenue, while also considering environmental and social-cultural factors. This study seeks to provide insights into the relationship between sustainable tourism and local economic development in El Nido, Palawan. Our research timeline structured over 2 months. The first 2 weeks will be spent for literature review and planning. The next 2 weeks will be for data collection. And week 5 and 6 will be for analyzing the data. And finally, the last 2 weeks will be spent for report writing and presentation, the findings. All this research has been backed up and supported by statistical data. Data statistics of tourist arrivals from provincial government of Palawan. The data shows that the tourist growth started in 2022 when the travel restrictions in Palawan were removed. And as you can see that the employment rates, men generally have higher employment rates than women, although the gap is narrowing due to increased female workforce participation. And the unemployment trends, women often face higher unemployment rates, particularly in economic downturns, influenced by their concentrations in vulnerable sectors and family responsibilities. Underemployment issues, many women are underemployed, working in part-time or low-skilled jobs despite higher qualification, affecting their income and career growth. It affects also the educational impact. The higher educational attainment improves employment prospects for women, but barriers in certain fields persist. The policy recommendation promoting gender equity through family-friendly policies, education access, and equal pay legislation is essential for addressing disparities. Findings and implications, economic growth, and work-life balance. The Mimaropa wage rates for 2 consecutive years increased, and there's no available data yet available for the employment rate from last year. However, as of August 2024, it has been increased by, let's say 1% from 94.9 last 2019 and increased to 96% last August 2024. The economic condition for the last 10 years from 2010 for 10 years from 2010 to 2020, the tourism growth dramatically from 100,000 to over 300,000. It has been boosted the local economy, making the tourism the backbone of El Nido's economic structure. There's no doubt about it. The COVID-19 impact, the pandemic's onset in 2020, had a profound negative effect, like all of us, with an 80% drop in tourist arrivals, highlighting the vulnerability of an economy heavily reliant on tourism. Government also invested in infrastructure development, local economy, and environmental concerns. The population in El Nido increased from 41,606 in 2015 to 50,494 in 2020. And these details were excerpted from Philippine Statistics Authority, the local government and memorable regional offices. The tourism grew from 10,749 on 1997 until 2024. There was like a positive trends continue contributing significantly to the employment and tourism sectors. This one suggests that between sustainability and quality in the hospitality sector, that the star ratings sustainable properties tend to have higher star rating compared to unsustainable one, which are spread across various ratings. While the property levels, level 2 is the most prevalent among sustainable accommodations, whereas level 1 properties are the least common. As I said, the correlation between sustainability and quality is in the hospitality sector. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you.